Hey guys, so I just wanted to talk about some of the findings that I had in the upgrade cycle for my Honda Grom. So originally my Grom, I rode my Grom for 1 season or a year, bone stock. So top speed was like 61 or so. I'm a pretty light rider, and that's great and all, but there was a couple things that it didn't do well on. This wasn't really fast, and it just sounded awful too. But I mean, those things are okay. It's not that big of a deal. But okay, so let's talk about. So let's just say you just got a Honda Grom and you're a little budget conscious and you just want to know what to do in terms of like actual performance. Oh my god, 1 second. Kind of expectations that you can expect. So I think the first thing really is to try to define what our goals are, right? So I think a lot of YouTube videos, they're kind of like their selling point of the video of like what they're doing is they're able to get to 70 miles per hour plus on the Grom. Okay, so mine does 70 on the speedo, but in real life or like on GPS it's closer towards 68. So I wouldn't really say I'm 70 indicated. Maybe I'll be able to hit 70, and all of this is sitting upright. But I think the bigger thing, the more important thing is we just need to keep up with traffic. So if you're going 70 miles per hour, that's like highway speed or interstate speed, and there's no way you're going to take. Well, I mean, depending on your state. In my state, you can't take the Grom on the interstate. So there's that this goal, even though it's really cool to have, it doesn't really mean anything because I'm not going to be going 70 miles per hour on my Grom. Because I can't even go on the interstate anyway. Okay, hang on 1 second. This thing is going. Okay, so the more important goal, and it really depends on your area. If you live in a heavy city or like really city and not in the burbs or anything like that, this might not apply to you. But if you live in the burbs or some type of country area, you're probably gonna have 55 mile per hour zones, and the bike stock does not perform well in a 55 mile per hour zone, because even though I'm a light rider and I can get to 61 or 60, and this is in ideal conditions, like when you're in a 55 mile per hour zone, cars are going to be going 65 miles or 60, right? So you have to go at least 65 to be comfortable in that, I mean, relatively comfortable, but more comfortable than going 55 in a 55. So this upgrade that I've done, I think it kind of accomplishes that. I can go 65 pretty easily. Hitting 70 indicated, it's a little bit challenging, but it is possible. But I'm definitely able to hit 65 and be comfortable in the 55 mile per hour zone. So let's take a look at what I did, and like overall, basically, it cost me about $100 per mile per hour gain. Okay, and this is just kind of like the average effect that I've seen. So the intake, I did a TST Worx Airbox, which is I think really nice. That was 1.5 miles per hour. The exhaust, I did the Tyga high mount exhaust, 1.5. And after each of these, I basically flashed the ECU. Or sorry, I resetted the ECU. I did not flash the ECU. You have to reset the ECU, otherwise, there will be no effect whatsoever. So you have to reset the ECU. There's a billion videos online about how to reset the ECU. And once you do the exhaust, you're kind of running lean at that point, so you have to actually get a flash. And a flash is basically, if you didn't know, it basically updates the fuel mapping, so you get more fuel, so you're no longer running lean from all the additional air or more air that you're taking in now from these from the intake and exhaust modifications. The other thing I did was I added a windshield, and this can change the look of the bike. So my bike now looks more of a sports bike and less of like a scrambler kind of style. But this is extremely economical, and it gave me a nice 2 mile per hour gain. So all in all, I did $103 to get to kind of where I'm at now, basically 70 miles per hour top speed, and cruising at 65 comfortably. So I don't think you need all of that, really. So let's just think about 65 miles per hour. Let's just say you're going 60 base, right? You really just need to me, the TST Worx Airbox is between the intake and the windshield, those are literally the best upgrades that you can possibly get in effect. So I'm gonna put these in bold. If you're really cost conscious, just get these two here, and this will make your bike. And the other small thing is, obviously, you want your Grom to not sound like a lawnmower, because it sounds like a lawnmower stock. This sounds, the TST Worx Airbox, it sounds really nice. It does sound really nice. And now, because I have a aftermarket exhaust, I don't actually hear this anymore because the exhaust is so loud. But again, the Airbox sounds really nice. It's a really deep sound on the intake, and really throaty. It's very nice. So I would say if you were to go just like bare bones, right? So let's just say option. This is the minimum option, I would say. You would do this, and you would do this. Okay? So that would get you around 3.5, maybe. So maybe your top speed would be 5 miles per hour faster. So instead of going like 60, you're probably like 65 now for tops. And that's, it's not bad, especially if you're, in a 55 mile per hour zone. You're kind of, you're pegging it, but you're able to ride in this zone now without feeling shitty, right? And the windshield will definitely help that, help with the wind at those speeds as well. The second option, obviously, would be just, what is the second option? Unfortunately, the second option would be this, and then getting that, and getting the windshield. So in all these, so the windshield would be optional, I guess. So in this case, you're gonna add about the same. Well, in this you'll add quite a bit here. So you're gonna go probably around 7 miles per hour faster top speed. You're probably going 5 on average faster than before with option 2. So, and then the last option is obviously everything, or maybe not everything, or what the hell am I doing? So you're gonna get the TST Airbox, and then so eBay and Amazon has like kind of like the Ransoto, like generic brand name like exhaust, and those are perfectly fine. There is actually no difference between. So I do regret buying the Tyga high mount exhaust, because while it looks really cool as a high mount exhaust, and maybe the quality of the exhaust is better than like something from eBay or Amazon, I don't really think it's that worth it. And apparently you can get something as low as $80 for this, but I just put $100. And of course, after you do all of this, you're going to need a flash, and the windshield is optional. So if you do the windshield, I mean, you're basically getting what I'm getting, but you're paying half of what I paid. So in total, you'll be paying about $400. Let's just say, okay, let's just say this is $350 to $400, right? Depending if you get the windshield. This one the second option, you have to get the windshield. And let me put down the mic real quick. Whoops. This is 300, and then just the air box and the windshield going to 135. And in terms of economy, equals, okay, hang with me. I should have probably done this before I made this video. Okay, so that, okay, sorry, is this divided by this plus this. That's, look, so you're spending less than $40 per mile there, gain. And then you have this divided by this plus your flash plus your windshield. Okay, what did I do wrong? Oops, okay, I'm doing the wrong column. Okay, I'm an idiot. Okay, so that's like $50, and obviously this option would be $54 or probably $53 if you don't get the windshield. So like if you're really strapped for cash, and or you just kind of just got it, you just don't really want to experiment too much for the rest of the season, I would say just get the airbox modification for 80 from TST, and then get a windshield from eBay, and you're good to go for maybe a 5 mile per hour top speed, you know, and average probably 3 miles per hour more than you're doing, and your airbox will also make your bike sound a lot better. Yeah, so that's kind of my opinion of this. Like, obviously, this is my, if you're just going to do everything, you don't, I guess the takeaway is you don't need a cool exhaust. And if you were going for the cool exhaust, I would just go with Yoshimura. And because there's like a bunghole there that you can do for in case you want to get an ACU, a racer ECU in the future, and it's also titanium, so you have that really nice coloration in the exhaust pipe. I would do that instead of any other type of exhaust, as long as it has the bunghole, and as long as it's titanium, so that it has the, no, that's really what's really worth it. I think the Yoshimura sounds a little bit better as well too. Anyway, so yeah, so that is the video, guys. This is what I learned. Looking back at it now, like, I mean, obviously I want to get exhaust, so I'll just probably just do this. You know, I'll spend half of what I spent, and yeah, I think that's, and it will also, you know, it'll meet the goal. So to get more than 70 miles per hour, I think you actually do need a cam. So I might do the cam sometime later this season, I don't know. But right now I actually do need to get my bike looked at, or I'm looking to do something with the chain and the sprocket, and also I need to get the bike looked at because there's a vibration somewhere that is really irritating me. So I need to see what the problem with that is. But anyway, that's the video. Oh, I didn't even go over the I didn't even go over the dyno. So the green line, I did clarify that green line is only the exhaust or only an air intake. It's very similar. So as you can see, compared that to the red line, which is an air take and an exhaust, when you're really revving it out, right, at 8.5 RPM, or, you know, really there's no difference, right? Let's see, what's the difference? 0.2 horsepower. That's no difference. Obviously with the red line you have like more linear, smoother, more aggressive dyno curve, but yeah, it's not really worth it. And the dark blue line here is with the cam and everything else. So yeah, I would, you know, again, so option 2 is where you have to air. Option 2 would literally be this green line. And in terms of dyno, obviously when you go on the dyno, the windshield means nothing. But when you're actually in real world situations, the windshield is gonna add some speed to your top end. But anyway, so that's the update. If you have any questions, obviously I'm not an expert, but this is kind of my opinion about it, and I think I did think about this quite a bit. About, you know, obviously this is for the budget conscious. If you have no budget whatsoever, you know, just get a big bore kit like turbo, Yoshimura, whatever in like high quality intake that you want. You know, get the A racer. You know, spend like $2,000-3,000 in addition to, like, you know, this is a $4,000 bike, so, you know, double the cost. You can do whatever you want. You'll get like to 16, 15, 18 horsepower pretty easily, or maybe even more, upwards of 20. But this is for the budget conscious, you know, or people that just don't want a lot of modifications on their bike, or don't want to do anything too crazy, but just want a little bit more speed. This is kind of like really, I think, what you should look at in terms of your options. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Goodbye.